to Untitled Geography. Today we're going to look at the exam command word of suggest. It could be 2 or 4, or as a longer answer question it could be 6 marks. The command word suggest means present and put forward a possible case or idea. That leads us down a track that there's a plausible answer, but there's not a definite answer. You've got to think what the answer might be. It's a possible case or a possible idea. And you've got to be able to support what you say. In many ways, it's very similar to explain. If you want to, as on here, as the explain slide, you've got meaning that, this results in, this is due to, this shows that. You've got to develop your idea, and where possible, if you can, include SEE, social, economic and environmental. However, it might sometimes only be 2 or 4 marks, in which case just make 1 point and develop your idea. This slide is about, if it's a 6 mark question, what do you do? There's quite a lot of information on this slide here, so feel free to pause at this point, glance over it before you hear some more of the support materials that we're going to cover later. If you see this command word and it's 2 marks, you're going to give 1 suggestion and then develop your ideas. If you see 4 marks, you're probably going to give 2 suggestions and develop your ideas. And if it's 6 marks, we're going to look at a bit more detail now. A possible 6 mark question in the blue box at the bottom left might be, suggest why the impacts of tectonic hazards are more significant in LICs than HICs. That is some kind of decision you've got to make, and have a look at the set of scales you've got on the bottom left. You've got the positives, you've got the negatives. Look at the HICs, look at the LICs. In many ways it's very similar to explain. So at the bottom here we're going to look at this 6+ mark answer structure. It says, if 6+ marks or levelled marking, fully develop 2 or 3 of your main points with Peel, examples, places, data, geography words, all the typical stuff you're going to include in top mark answers. It's very similar to explain. So the pink box at the top right, it says name the city or country, give the place, give some data, introduce your answer. Then you're going to suggest, present a possible outcome or a possible idea. Using the ideas in the green box, these keep coming back to us, which is, this means that, this is due to, a knock-on effect of this is. And then finish off, once you've developed your idea, 2 or 3 ideas, finish off with, therefore it can be seen that, make your decision. Maybe includes things like important or significant, make some kind of decision. We're going to look at some possible answers. The information on the left hand side we're going to move the whole slide to the left, gives us room on the right hand side to give some possible answers. So here's a possible answer. We've got the structure strip down the left hand side, we've got more support materials down the middle, and we've got some examples of an answer on the right hand side. If you want to pause this, just glance over it first so you know what's going to come up. That might be useful to you. So, LICs, such as Nepal, experience more significant impacts from earthquakes than HICs, such as New Zealand. So what we've done here, we've used words from the question, which is LICs, HICs, we've named the tectonic hazard, which is earthquakes, and we've used the word significant, which is in the question, and we've used the word significant there in the first sentence. So you can see in the first sentence, we've summed up an awful lot of things. We're now going to look at the LIC in a little bit of detail. So in the first green box on the right hand side, it says the impacts of the, then you can talk about the place, the date and the magnitude. So it's going to be Nepal, the Gorkha earthquake in 2015. Then it's going to be give data, give some examples. So some data. So 9,100 people were killed. And the lower income, so they have per year a GNI of $730. This made the impacts worse due to. So there you can start to talk about building design, preparations, not able to protect themselves from falling buildings, meaning that. And you can say the casualty rate was a lot higher. You could also add in there about lack of health services, support services, and once the earthquake had happened, the rescue services, the response afterwards. We're now going to look at the HIC. So the impacts of the give a place, give a date, give the magnitude. So the place is New Zealand, the Kaikoura earthquake, the magnitude was 7.8 and 2 people were killed. So it's the HIC of New Zealand. There were 2 people killed in this area and that was really low compared to Nepal. It's exactly the same magnitude of earthquake. They have a higher income per person, GNI, of $39,000. This reduced the impacts due to, you could talk about protection, you could talk about building regulations, you could talk about the fact that the Navy came in and rescued 900 people the following day. They developed that by saying, meaning that. At the end, you're going to sum up what you're saying. So in summary, contrasting wealth between countries is significant because. And then in a really short, sharp sentence, why is that the case? The key points to remember for the suggest command word is look at the mark tariff, whether it's 2, 4 or 6. The extended answers are very similar to explain, so this means that, this results in. Look at the social, environmental and economic impacts. Don't forget, if it's an extended answer, include data, examples, geography words, place names. If it's 2 or 4 marks, make sure you develop your idea to get the second mark.